Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to, I think it is day 67 of the tip of the day. Today, I wanted to actually continue with the how do you unwrite or fire and wire a different set of neurons, right? Go against the Hebb's law of nerve cells that fire together, wire together. And that's why we started off with that topic of somebody said, how do I not dwell on my mistakes anymore? And so we were talking about firing and wiring a different set of neurons. So we had a Facebook Live. So today is the 20th of July. 19th of July, we had done a Facebook Live Q&A as well, which is up on the YouTube channel. We dedicated, there were some insights provided there as well. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the most important thing that we have to realize, and I think I touched on it at the very end of the Facebook Live, where somebody said, actually Dave said, why do we, excuse me, why do we have regret, right? So I wanted to expand on why do we have regret. So this is the most important thing that Eckhart teaches, right? So one way to overwrite your neurons is to learn have enough presence power that you know how to surrender to what is. Like what Eckhart says is, bring the sword of presence and you surrender. That is what is. So you say a mistake, but no, that is what is, and then move forward from there. So what are my options? So I missed the flight. Now, what are my options, right? I get a rental car, I get a hotel room, or I stay at the airport. If I don't have any money, then I stay at the airport and wait until the next flight is available, right? So what are my options, kind of? So the meaning of surrender, no anger, no frustration, no regret, no any kind of, so what happens is, we experience, now let me take it slowly. We experience what Eckhart, I love this terminology by Eckhart, a life situation, right? We experience a life situation. Now, once we experience the life situation, what will happen is, if our mind makes the judgment that it is wrong or is a mistake, then we know what it is the reason why we know that it is a mistake is there is a non-alignment with our inner being. So our inner being, the consciousness that's flowing through us, the inner being always knows, is always aligned with source and always knows what is right action. So our inner being is always working towards our right action, right? In every given situation, but our ego will make us do something incorrectly, right? What we call so-called mistake, which is not a mistake. It's just an experience, Kelly said yesterday. So we may label it as a mistake. So what is a mistake? That we were not aligned with our inner being and we did something and that went against. So our inner being already knows, like inner being is going to send that signal out, right? That there's something that's wrong with this situation. So the inner being is sending signals, like telepathically, you're learning from your inner being that there's something wrong. But what the ego, which is the mind that is identified with its thinking, right? What the mind will do is it'll quickly want to put a Band-Aid on it. Instead of actually getting back in presence and moving into acceptance of the situation, right? So what it's going to do is it's going to want to put a Band-Aid on the situation. And the Band-Aid is the regret. The Band-Aid is the guilt. The Band-Aid is the shame. The Band-Aid, so the ego wants to quickly cover it up, right? You made a mistake. Now the ego wants to, it's feeling uneasy because it knows it's not aligned with the inner being. So the ego will want to cover it up. So it comes up with these resistance patterns, right? I know my mother, when there was a mistake, she would like find something to blame on. Oh, why did you put this vessel down on the floor? Like if she tripped on something, why did you put this thing down here? Instead of saying she wasn't looking, she was not in the present moment, right? And she tripped over it. Or maybe we put salt in a different container and she thought it was sugar and she added it, right? So why did you do that? Kind of yelling. But that's the ego. The ego always wants to resist. Anytime, and this is what we learn through presence, is where are we resisting? Where is the resistance pattern? And the moment you realize that you are in resistance of what is, that is the ego. The ego always resists with its mental constructs. It'll bring up the guilt. It'll bring up the frustration. It'll bring up the anger. It'll bring up the shame. It'll bring up the blame. It'll bring up the regret, right? So that's ego in its resistance mode. So what we have to do is sit back and get connected. Take a deep breath and get connected with our inner being. That's the state of surrender. Like get into surrender of what is. This is what is, right? And then from that, some kind of right action will come. To me, the greatest examples, one, what I had to do, maybe in year 2017, 2018, I mean, I already was pretty surrendered, right? But then I had a few challenges in those years, 2016, 17, 18. We were having a lot of reduction in force at work, excuse me. And so there was a lot of changes at work, right? So what I did was I probably read Eckhart's book. In Eckhart's book, I would forward it over, like the audiobook, I would forward it over to chapter 10, which is the meaning of surrender. I'll tell you why this came to my mind is I was doing the meditation center of the magnet this morning. And at the very end, towards the meditation, it's a beautiful meditation. And in the end of the meditation, Dr. Joe Dispenza says, there's some kind of, I'm paraphrasing it, that there's a balance between intention and surrender, that your heart knows how to balance intention and surrender, right? So get into your heart. The center of the magnet is the heart. So he's trying to get us deep into our heart during that meditation. And the moment he said surrender, I went, oh my God, yesterday during Facebook Live, we never talked about surrender. So I was like, that's going to be the topic for the tip of today. So I read that chapter, The Meaning of Surrender, maybe 30 or 40 times. I don't even know how many times. Like I knew almost every word of it, that surrender is yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life, right? So read the chapter, The Meaning of Surrender, chapter 10 of The Power of Now, over and over again until it gets into your spirit. Like every cell of your spirit, you understand what Eckhart is meaning by the meaning of surrender. It is a beautiful chapter. And to this, I'll give you some of the practical examples I got from Byron Katie, right? In her book, I think it's 1,000 Names for Joy. It may be Loving What Is, but I kind of think it is 1,000 Names for Joy. I've listened to so many of her books that now I get mixed, and she almost teaches the same thing. So quite a few practical examples. So one, she says, in 1,000 Names of Joy, she says, she was talking on the telephone, then the doorbell rang, and she tripped and fell. And then she says, oh my God, I'm paraphrasing all of this, right? I'm just recalling it from memory. She says, thank you, Earth. Thank you for giving me supporting my body and letting me fall, like giving that support, right? So that it fell gracefully. I mean, look at the surrender. Then she said, at some point in time, later on in the book, she's trying to get to a friend who's doing this meditation, I think the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and was on deathbed. And she's trying to, it's somewhere in Germany, and she's trying to get there. But whoever is the driver had some other intention. So she did not get to her friend in time, and the friend passed away. The friend wanted her to be there when he passed away, right? So the acceptance of that she could hold his body while he's passed away and like be there with him, but he's already passed away. There's no regret. There's no mistake, right? No remorse. There's no, oh, did not make it to my friends who really wanted me to. And there was something that they were going to the hospital over and over again to visit this friend, to work out that book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And then later on, she says, I think this may be in Loving What Is, but try both books, try 1,000 Names for Joy. She says, there's this friend of mine that does not always show up on time. I've invited him for lunch. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm going to see is it going to be a lunch for one, or is it going to be a lunch for two? Sure enough, when she went to the restaurant, he was not there, or she was not there, whoever this friend was not there. And she started ordering her food and having a lunch for one. And so sure enough, 15, 20 minutes or 30, 40 minutes later, this person showed up. And so they had lunch for two. So that's a great example of surrender. There is no resistance whatsoever. Imagine what you would have done in a situation where you really wanted to meet a friend, you agreed upon a time, you went there, and the friend was not there, right? And you would probably be really, really upset. Then I think she talks about having Fuchs dystrophy. It's some kind of eye. She could only see grays. She couldn't see anything properly. And she talks about this whole ordeal she went through, trying to do laundry in Amsterdam. I think the dial on the laundry machine was like a rocker switch, and she couldn't figure it out. She couldn't see it. She couldn't figure it out. And it took her like 6 hours, I think, to do laundry, like putting it from washer to dryer. Finally, her partner, Stephen Mitchell, came by and helped her, I think, to put it in the dryer. I don't know, or she figured it out, but she couldn't see, and she had to hear it, right? She couldn't see what the dials were, and then she could only hear the turn of the, like almost like a vault door, like hear it to see if it turned on or not. So look at this surrender, right? She's not like, oh, I'm blind. I cannot see properly, and I'm not going to do the laundry. I'm going to wait for somebody to do the laundry. So that's my offer to you, is learn to recognize, have enough presence power. And sure enough, like we also talked about it yesterday during Facebook Live, if your mind, you are constantly in your mind, you will not even recognize these resistance patterns. So it is so, so important to do inner body meditation, bring the momentum of your thoughts down. That's step number one. Always bring down the momentum of your thoughts, bring it into your body. And then from there, go ahead and like make this decision that I need to surrender. This is just my ego, like the regret and the frustration, the anger, the remorse, all of that is just resistance of my mind. And the resistance patterns of the mind. It's been doing this for thousands of years, right? The fear, the we've been living these survival emotions of fear, anxiety, remorse, guilt for thousands of years. And that's what the spiritual teachings are about, to get out of all of these resistance patterns. That is what Eckhart's teachings are about, that get out of the egoic patterns of resistance, right? The resistance patterns of the ego, get out of them. And the more you are out of them, the more you will be in presence, and right action will you will perform right action. Like you will be aligned with your inner being. You will be connected to source, and right action will arise. And once right action arises, that's how you bring prosperity, abundance, and peace to yourself. So with that wish, that peace, prosperity, and abundance for all, many blessings, much love, and have a wonderful day. I will see you all next time that I think of some other idea to present, okay? So grateful for our spiritual family. Thank you for your support. Bye.